Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Hello everyone, this is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers, and we're here at the RJO show in Philadelphia, my hometown, and as always, we're here with Elisa Dillon of Southern Jewelry News.
Hey everybody.
And we're having a great time here, and today we have our special guest.
Oh yes.
Kenny Mullins of
Positive Protection.
Positive Protection. Okay. And what you're talking to us about today, something every jeweler, anybody in this industry needs to know about. It's very important stuff, right?
Yes.
And why don't you tell us what you do? Why don't you tell us what you do?
Yeah, I provide the security for some very high-end trade shows throughout the country, a little bit overseas also. That includes these types of events and different types of numismatic events and some auction houses and things like that. Very high security we provide.
Got it. And you said you've been doing it for a long time.
Yes, I've been doing it for 25 years. I'm retired NYPD, and after my career there, I came to work for this company, and now I own it.
Perfect.
That's
fantastic. And we're certainly happy to have you on site to make sure things go smoothly and safely.
Yeah, thank you.
Safely. What are, in this industry, there's some things that all of us that come to these shows, exhibitors or visitors, buyers of the shows, there's some things that we should know about and always keep in mind. What are some of those things?
Well, our biggest problem in this industry is people get complacent. We all hear terrible stories of robberies, but a lot of people suffer from it can't happen to me.
Right.
Well, it can happen to you. The different types of theft gangs that follow us around in this country are very sophisticated. They've taken their lessons from Oliver Twist. They'll use pregnant women, they'll use children, they'll try to blend in at the different venues, all in an attempt to get into the show or to be able to identify anybody traveling to and from the show with their own product. We strongly encourage use the shipping companies, Brinks or Malca, or Ferrari, but a lot of mom and pop or smaller companies, they need their jewelry right away, so they travel with it, and that's a very dangerous thing to do.
That's a big no-no.
Right. Yeah. So for the exhibitors and the buyers, I mean, we always hear you guys say, take off your badges.
Yes.
What are some of the things that have happened or?
Well, you know, we're working in a large city, and unfortunately, in most large cities these days, we've had an increase of crime. And when you walk around with your show ID, it's a signal to everybody out on the street where you've come from. It has a picture of jewelry on it, and it even identifies whether you're an exhibitor or a buyer. So it's best to put the badge on when you come in the building, and put the badge off when you leave. Leave it in your hotel room, in your sock drawer or whatever, because people lose them when they go out at night, and the individuals trying to get to the show want that badge.
Oh yeah.
That's their ticket in.
Yeah.
So,
I've worked in. I've been coming to jewelry shows for over close to 30 years now, and some things that the veterans that come to the shows try to remember to tell the new people coming with them. And Josiana here with me, her first show went to, I think it was the Atlanta show. We're in the Uber coming down to go into the show, and the guy's talkative. You know, he wants, hey, what's going on? How's it going? What are you guys doing in town? And she says, oh, we're here for the jewelry show. I'm like, oh no, I forgot to
Bingo.
tell her.
Forgot to say.
Bingo.
We're just at a convention.
Right, and that's all the newbies typically make the mistake, but you don't talk about what you do. Where you're here for a marketing convention, art convention, whatever.
Visiting a friend.
Yeah, something like that.
I've literally had taxi cabs ask me, taxi cab drivers. Oh, you're here for the jewelry show?
Exactly.
Or you're here for the coin show?
So because
And,
they already know.
No.
I said, absolutely not. There's a show here? Oh, no, I'm here with the Painters Convention or
Yeah.
whatever I can think of. But I'm never surprised to hear that.
No. So, for everyone listening, it's very important that you keep why you're in a specific town. Don't have your badge out. Don't be walking around with, a jewelry on your
They give out
on a
bags
bag.
at these shows. But
Yeah.
people walk around with Acme jewelry on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good tip. Just mum's the word when you're in town, asking why you're in town.
Right.
Keep
Sit
your
at a
badge
bar, the
on you.
bartender will ask you. The people next to you will listening.
Yeah.
The individuals that follow these shows around, they come here before the participants of the event come.
Yep.
And they watch.
Yeah.
And they wait. Some traveling jewelers, they travel with their trunk highly secured.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting out front and you notice a vehicle open up and here's a heavy chain, you're telling the world I'm carrying something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we always encourage a loading dock entry
Yes.
and exit.
Got it,
We
yeah.
make arrangements for that. But again, human nature, people get complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't happen to me. But
Yeah.
they're out there.
Exactly.
Every show.
Yeah.
They're watching and waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah. What are some of the horror stories that you've maybe
Well,
heard of or been part
Well,
of?
I could, we had one event where we had some people out, and of course we also patrolled the areas around the parking lots, and
Right.
we had a group of nefarious individuals in one of our major cities. When questioned by my police officers outside, they took off, started a big car chase, crashed. Inside the van, we found all different pictures of them, ones that stick on top of your driver's license.
Yeah.
Easy photo ID. They'll relaminate the license with your new picture.
Wow.
We had weapons. We had ties that you can bound hands.
Yeah.
And one was an escaped prisoner from New Jersey only 3 days ago, and one was deported back to Honduras about 7 days ago.
Wow.
And he was back in Atlanta
Wow.
with the escaped prisoner in New Jersey, and a whole group of people. When they carry these phones that
right.
have information that can be used also. So again, they're very sophisticated individuals. We've had people, coming back and forth to shows who were accosted. I remember one time out in California, we advised the people to use the loading dock, and they walked out the front door with their product, and they were quickly met by some individuals that removed the product. They didn't hurt him, but they threatened to, and they removed his product in 20 seconds walking out the door.
Dang.
So we try to give clues, we try to give tips, but you have to listen to, take advice, and read your emails. And a lot of people it's never happened to me before, I'll get away with it again.
Pay attention, folks.
Right.
You be
Pay
aware of your
attention.
surroundings. Don't advertise where you're coming from. Don't have a drink or two and then start telling people what you do for a living. What's that Latin saying? In vino es veritas.
Yes.
In wine there is truth.
Truth.
So you shouldn't be sitting there telling people what you do for a living, or play it down, or no, I'm not here for that convention. I'm here to get a job at the hotel. Whatever you need to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're our own worst enemy. And on that note, social media.
Oh, that's a big one.
We have a big younger generation coming into this business, and they are taking pictures of themselves. I'll give you an example. We had a group that, they took a picture of themselves and posted the badge to their show. And then that was retweeted approximately 80 more times.
Ooh.
Now, a cheap computer can
Right.
replicate that. So it's a constant lesson, and the more new people you get in, the more social media has been a part of their lives since they were a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't understand that this is wrong. Because, again, just like this pod show, more than good, hardworking people will be listening to this.
Sure.
I had an experience. I've been doing this for a long time, and I was actually did exactly what you said. We loaded our stuff up and walked right out on the front, waiting for the car to come pick me up. We load up our goods, and it was a big, tall, and basically what was in there was, brass and glass. It was not anything valuable. However, it was a large suitcase. We get in the car, and probably a few miles down the road, we had a flat tire. And not being complacent, not thinking about it, we're like, oh gosh, let's do that. Well, the one thing we did do, I'll back up, is we stopped at a store to get a six-pack. And that's where our tires were slashed. We were headed back to the hotel. Everything went, we were like, oh my gosh. I'm like, look, I'll go call AAA when we got back to the hotel. And we were calling AAA. We went back out there. The window was smashed. Everything was smashed.
Oh.
Took everything we had.
Very common.
Yeah, and nowadays, I don't know if they're that nice. Let's just slice your tires and get your stuff. They're getting a little more
The
brazen.
propensity for violence has increased greatly.
It has, yeah.
In these encounters. And all I can recommend is we can replace the lines, the jewelry lines. You can't replace your personnel.
Right.
But some proactive advice and following through with that can save your life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I know I try to be careful. I not put my have my badge on walking around, or I'm never telling any driver what I'm doing here, and try to be vigilant about who's around me. But now in this conversation makes me think about last night, because I was hanging out at the hotel bar, because that's where everybody hangs out, and I wanted to connect with some people. And of course, right there, we're talking about, so how's your store? Do you sell lab grown? Do you this and that? Because we want to find out about them, but we're right there among a big group.
That you don't know everybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're right up against the bar, and the bartenders are around, and I don't know who's the guy
Boss,
right
staff,
behind me.
Absolutely. Sitting next to the next person.
Yeah.
Standing behind you, listening.
Right. And I always like going to the bar at the hotel bar where the show is, because you connect with the other people. Hey,
Networking
nice
at its
you.
best, yeah.
Yeah, and but then you have a few drinks, have a good laugh, and you never know what.
Loose lips sink ships.
That's
it.
right.
That's it.
So it's just something you have to be aware of 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people, they go away 1 or 2 shows a year. Some people do 30 or 40 shows a year.
Yeah.
But the ones that go away not too often, sometimes it's almost like spring break for them.
Yeah.
They don't. It's not drilled into their mind yet. And they talk a lot.
Exactly.
And then sometimes we're our own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, I've always remembered, if you're at a show as a supplier, keep your eyes on the buyers, because even though, we're all like-minded, people are nefarious. And I'll never forget, this little old lady at that show.
Crimes of opportunity.
Yes. And she had, lifted some jewelry, and she was caught by Kenneth's team. And I think she was kind of trying to deny it, wasn't she?
I remember the vendor going, "You've been a client of mine for 20 years."
Oh man!
And she, as soon as he turned his back,
Yep. And he laid into her. He goes
relationship.
"I don't care if you're an old lady or not. Yeah, you can't take jewelry." So, again, may look like a little old lady, nice nerves, doing business with for 20 years, but that's not going to stop her from if she wants.
I can assure you the criminals that operate at these shows to try to get in are not the typical ones you think.
Right.
Exactly.
I do some numismatic events where we catch people 50, 60 years old, retired with a couple of $1,000s in their pocket, stealing a $12 coin.
Exactly.
Because they're just sick. I'm sure they're trying to get a $12,000 coin, but they're not that easily accessible.
Yeah.
The lower coins are out.
Yeah.
But it's sad.
Yeah.
Because it's
Right.
kleptos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a sickness
Sure.
also.
Right.
But what we're talking about is organized gang thefts that come here.
Yeah.
If you're driving in and out, you need to have your vehicle in top condition.
Yes.
Always use the loading dock. Never unload in front of the place, because stores. We're advertising to the world.
Yeah.
When you pick up your car, the day you're going to be leaving or the day before, you want to make sure the gas is filled up. You want to make sure your tires are in good shape. Go and look at them. Make sure nobody's inserted anything into them that will, like you say, give you a flat down the road. And just common sense. When you leave, make a turn or two. You don't have to. See who's into a gas station, out of a gas station right away, and don't be afraid to call the police if you suspect it, or Google where a police station is and get off and drive right there.
Sure. So. Wow. Well, we're talking about security here at the show, during the buying show, and I've seen you many shows previously, and thank God most of them are pretty, uneventful. That's what we want. But a lot of the listeners also to the podcast are jewelers, they're retail stores. You got any advice for their brick-and-mortar stores?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I would recommend you improve your camera system greatly.
Camera system.
I know this is a lot of money, but unfortunately in the world we live in right now, it takes a financial investment. The jewelers will know what I'm talking about when you should try to get like a man-trap system. It's where you have double locks, magnetic locks, so you have to let the people into one door, which needs to lock behind them, and then bring them into another door. There's locks behind them, so you can't escape. You can get through the first to leave, but then you're trapped inside. And unfortunately, that area needs to be fortified, like bullet resistant, things like that. It's an awful lot of money, but I recommend it because most of our jewelry stores have family working in them and close employees who's been in this business, and it's a well worth investment.
Yeah. So upgraded security, video surveillance, man-trap system. Anything else that you would recommend?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the NRA and carrying a firearm. I come from years of experience.
Sure.
But I certainly don't want somebody who's had no experience to be carrying a firearm. And I think if they're the owners of these stores are confident enough and are trained, I think I encourage them to defend themselves. I certainly don't want anybody to get hurt. But with different systems in place, I think you have a right, as our Constitution states, to be able to protect yourself. And I think if they're healthy enough and quick enough with proper training, I would recommend protecting yourself and your employees.
Most of us see the movies and see what happens out there. What about silent alarm? You always see the robbers walk in and the lady pushing the button underneath the counter. Things like that. The jewelry stores implement that kind of thing now?
Some of them do. There's some of them that people can afford it. But that will all tie in with your video security system. And when you hit those buttons, it not only notifies the monitoring company, it also notifies the police directly. So again, that comes with training with your people, with your employees, because the police get tired very quickly with false alarms. They respond vigorously with one or two, but if it keeps happening by mistake, so much training is needed, and you need more than one area. And a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of different thefts are inside jobs. You might have an employee that has been fired a couple of months ago. Well, they perhaps have exchanged information to let them know where those buttons are or whatever. And so there's, it's unfortunate that you just have to always be on your toes. And
be vigilant
trust,
always.
We don't spread trust out too much.
No.
When it comes to this kind of money, it's easy to turn people.
Right. Are there any red flags, telltale signs, or something of someone maybe not on the up and up?
Well, like as a store owner?
Yeah, like if somebody's, in the store, like, there's a Facebook group called the JHG Crime Network.
That's a good one.
And they share.
Is that the JSA?
JHJ, Jewelers Helping Jewelers.
Right.
Oh, yes.
It's They even have a certain page for people who have been victimized by a robbery. You know, what do you do next? So
Right.
yeah, they do.
But
So,
you know, they share stories. These two were trying to pawn off a whatever and gave us you know, phony ID or something. You know, be careful. You know, jewelers in this area. But I saw one post, and I wasn't sure. I read it, and I've never heard it, and I wasn't sure. They said they showed a picture of a guy at the counter. He was kind of not right up against, but he had his hands behind his back like this, looking, and that was the picture. And in the caption of this post, you know, to the JHJ Crime Network, said this is a red flag of someone maybe not, maybe considering or not on the up and up, you know, something along those lines. I never heard that. I never before.
Well, in my thinking, a lot of times we have identifying marks on us. We have identifying jewelry.
Yeah.
We have tattoos.
Yeah.
So when people want to hide their arms behind their back or something, number one, by me doing it, I'm thinking I'm giving you the impression like, oh, my hands aren't up there to steal anything.
Right.
I'm just looking. So there's all different reasons why they might do that. But to me, and my experience, that's more of a, I'm trying to prove to you that I'm a good guy and I'm not up here with my hands ready to grab. I'm looking.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I can interject for 1 second, we brought up the Jewelers Helping Jewelers. I can't tell you how beneficial to this organization that the Jewelry Security Alliance,
oh yeah.
Mr. John Kenneth
John
that runs it, and their vice president, Scott Kaczynski, they do such an amazing job and have successfully put together different patterns of different theft gangs.
Yeah.
They've turned this over to law enforcement, and they've made many arrests.
Wow.
And if I could stress anything, it's to support the JSA.
Yes.
Because they do invaluable work, and they give seminars. They come to my events. They send me the latest videos and who's out there. One recent show that I did, we had 8 attempts of some nefarious individuals getting in there, and the photos and videos supplied to me by the JSA prevented those people. My men all recognized these people, and this was 8 events all in the course of a couple days, and because of the JSA's work, we were able to deter and prevent that show from any incidents happening and alert everybody going home. So they do such invaluable work and don't get the credit for it, and they deserve the credit.
So JSA, that's Jewelers
Security
Alliance that anybody in the industry needs to be a part. Go to their website.
Go to their website. You can join them. They'll give you a newsletter.
Yeah.
But they'll be happy to come and speak to your group, and do the same thing we're doing here. But
Yeah.
they have more information than law enforcement.
Yeah.
Because law enforcement is working on many different things at once.
Yeah.
And that's all they concentrate on is this industry.
Yeah.
They literally develop cases and turn these facts over to locals, city, state, or federal law enforcement,
Right.
who then affect the arrest. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, the JSA doesn't get the credit they deserve. But they're not looking for the credit. They're just happy to help the industry.
Right.
But they're
right.
an amazing group,
They
and
sure
I
are.
recommend to everybody in this business, go on their website, Google them, you'll find them. They're an amazing organization.
Right.
John
True
Kennedy
professionals.
does a great job. Him
True
and his team.
professionals.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you got any other?
I don't know if you anything else, Kenny, that you'd like to tell our audience about security or how to stay safe. You have any more tips?
Just jewelry store owners, be aware that you could be followed home.
Yeah.
Watch your rearview mirror, go home different ways, pull in and out of it. Even the jewelry store owners, I don't have to come and rob your store. I have to follow you home,
Right.
and then bad things happen.
Yeah.
And then you'll come back with me while my friends stay with your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll come back with me and clean out the store.
Yeah.
So even someone who's just started in a jewelry store, just be aware. I don't mean to make people paranoid, but make sure you're not being followed home, especially when you're closing work, and watch who's sitting in the cars and make sure you're not followed at all
Right,
times.
right.
It's the it's the extra thing you have to do to remain safe in this business, because there are a lot of people out here who don't want to work, who want what you've worked hard for.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And be safe and be aware.
Right.
Well, a lot of people are, feel very safe when Kenny and his Positive Protection company is on site.
Yeah.
It definitely is a presence, as well as law enforcement, state troopers that we have in other shows. It makes a big difference. It could deter somebody from doing something bad. But from all of us, in this industry, Kenny, we really appreciate the hard work that you put in to keeping us safe.
Well, that's very kind. We have a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
We need each other.
Yes, exactly.
If you weren't here, they wouldn't need us.
Right.
And it becomes a family because, again,
Yeah.
we all attend different shows, but all the vendors attend some of the same shows
Yeah,
also. So I go from show to show, and
Yeah.
it really is like family.
It is like family.
Absolutely.
I would call it like the Deadheads that go around to the Grateful Dead
Right.
tour, right? Or Fish or Widespread Panic. And I'm like,
and on that note,
we're on a tour.
My company protects our events because we're protecting our family.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I know some of the bad guys know who we are, but they know how professional and proactive we are, and we've been very successful at what we do, from teachings that I learned from the people I bought this company from. Bob Rugelman, I bought this place from, and he taught us how to do the right thing, and over the last 25 years, it's still working.
Yeah, works great.
And proud to do it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your
Thank you,
service.
sir.
Thank you for being on site, keeping us safe. And anyone interested, this is important stuff.
Yeah.
Security. So
We thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Make
you
sure
so
you
much.
stay safe out there, guys. Take these advice and, don't get complacent.
Pay attention.
Pay
Amen.
attention.
Don't get complacent.
pay
Yeah.
attention. Thanks, everyone. This
My
is
pleasure.
another podcast episode of the Pearls of Wisdom. Check us out. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Kenny.
Thank you, Guy. My pleasure.
Wonderful.
Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.